Welcome back, Hofstra fans. Let's move on to the Hofstra men's and women's soccer teams. So guys, let's start off with the women's team that we have here. This team has started off at a perfect 3-0 record for the season, but I gotta ask you guys, is anyone really surprised by this?
No, not at all. They've been playing really well in every aspect of their game. They've had good play in the attacking third with Lucy Porter and Sabrina Bryan. They've done really well in the defensive third, and their midfield is strong as usual.
Like Sam said, they've dominated all thirds of the midfield, and you just like to see it because sometimes you get off to a slow start, but they don't have any cobwebs, and they've taken care of business so far.
Yeah, picking up right where they left off in the 2019 season, they won the CAA tournament. Lucy Porter was the MVP of that, like you said, a strong offensive weapon for this team. But on the other side of that, you know, they've been outscoring opponents 13-4, so obviously their offense is stacked, but when you take a look at the defensive abilities of this team, how much of this has this helped them dominate so far in the season?
Well, I think it's helped a lot. They've been playing smart throughout their defense. Anya Suitner's one who's really stepped up for this Pride back four. And, you know, they also don't have very many carded fouls either. They only have 2 cards through 3 games. That's very good for this team. It shows that they're making smart fouls. They're not making absurd fouls, and they're playing smart defense. They're anticipating where the runs of their opponent are going to be, and they're really reading their opponent well.
And a good defense leads to a solid offense almost 9 times out of 10. You really need that good defense, highlighted by Skylar Kuzmich, the goalie. She's been solid all year. She's been a brick wall back there, stopping goals that she needs to. And they have a young stud in Louise Hayden who can be the future of this Hofstra Pride defense.
And they say that, you know, defense wins games, and that's very true. I love that saying, but you can't deny the offensive weapons that this team has. We mentioned Lucy Porter, Sabrina Bryan, both the 2 stars of this team, the 2 leaders, you know, big offensive weapons. But what do you guys predict out of both of these superstars for the remainder of the season?
I think Lucy Porter is going to be the most efficient scorer on this Hofstra team, and I think Sabrina Bryan is going to lead the team in assists. And right now we see Lucy Porter leading the CAA in goals and goals per game, and Sabrina Bryan leading the CAA in assists per game, and them being tied at points per game. So I think that it's going to be an incredible season from these 2. I think this is the year they're really going to click the most and put up some record-setting numbers.
It almost seems like Sabrina Bryan and Lucy Porter are the Jordan and Pippen of Hofstra women's soccer. They are just incredible. Their chemistry is incredible. You see it when they're out on the field, how well they play off of each other. And it's just great to see how well they do this. And I think they're CAA household names, but I think it's time for them to be national household names.
All right, and just one last question before we move on to the men's team is what other teams in the CAA do you think can match up with the talent that this Pride team has?
I think it's got to be Delaware or UNCW. You know, in the past, they're the ones who have threatened Hofstra the most. You know, Gabrielle Johnson looks very versatile all over the pitch throughout the offense, and I think that UNC, that is, could really contend with the Pride this season.
Honestly, I don't see any team. If Hofstra plays their best soccer all year and they don't have any slip-ups, I don't see any team in the CAA that can really compete with them.
Well, the men's team has just not had as much luck as the women's team. You could say it that way because they've started off the season at 1-2. You know, the game against Fordham was obviously postponed, so that could be difficult for the team moving forward in getting their rhythm back. But what does the men's team need to do, and what do they need to work on before heading into this game?
Well, I think maintaining possession in the attacking third of the field is what's going to be crucial for this Hofstra Pride team on the pitch. You know, they're averaging taking more shots and putting more of those shots on goal than their opponents in each of their first 3 games. They've got incredibly dynamic scoring forwards. You know, we look at Luca Tausch, Matthew Vowinkle. They need to maintain that attacking presence and really find their forwards on runs into the 18.
You know, you talk about pucks on net in hockey. I want to say balls on net in soccer because this team needs to get more shots on goal. They only have less than 50% of their shots getting to goal. They need to get shots on net and give themselves an opportunity to score because maybe you get a rebound off a goalie's hands. You get more corner kicks. You just need to get that offense going, and that makes the defense's job so much easier.
And in the games that the Pride has played, they've only scored an average of 1.6 goals per game. And, you know, they haven't been getting blown out, so they've been getting lucky in some of those games. But when does the luck run out, and when do they really start have to focusing on their offense?
Well, you know, I don't think that they're going to have to at any point. They're really solid in every aspect of of their game, in my opinion. And I think that definitely if Matthew Vowinkle steps up and leads their team in scoring like he did back in 2019, I think that this team could really find itself. And they're just about one step away. They've got to have one player shake off the rust a little bit more, get a little bit more ready, and I think they're just one step away from being a real, powerhouse in the CAA.
Like Sam said, they are one step away from being a great team in the CAA. And I've talked about freshmen all night. I've talked about the future. Ryan Carmichael already has a goal this year. I think he can be the future, and I think he can help contribute and be one of the key clogs that helps this Hofstra offense get going.
Yeah, definitely some key players that need to be stepping up for the success of this team. And just one quick question before we wrap up is, what do you think these postponements have done for the team moving forward?
I think that it's gotten them a little bit out of their rhythm, but I don't think it's anything that's not able to be overcome.
All right, that's going to end this segment right here. Let's take another short break.